All right, so now we have Invest 99L. It is labeled Invest 99L, and it is starting to strengthen as it gets into the southern half of the Bay of Campeche. Plus, our next area to watch right here in the Western Caribbean is shown by all the weather models that it is going to be here. Now, whether this cold front knocks it towards Louisiana, Florida, Alabama, that's where it's been trending, or is it going to go towards Texas? That is the question. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to every single one of you. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. Now, I'm going to give you updates on what's going on with Invest 99L, and it is still trending with the euro of some very almost catastrophic flooding, very extreme flooding coming for northern Texas, especially for Dallas. And we're going to go through the next area to watch and show exactly what is going on with that next wave. If you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I am all year long. Hit the like button and share this information. If you have somebody that's in these impacts, let them know what is coming. So even though you need this beneficial rain coming to the south and the southeast, this will be some very much catastrophic flooding that will be happening for Texas if the euro is correct. So here we are with Invest 99L, and it has been raised up. Now it's at 40% in the next 48 hours, 40% in the next 5 days, which it will not last that long. But you can see a tropical depression could form later today or on Saturday while the system moves northwestward across the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. But by Saturday night, the system is expected to move inland over northeastern Mexico, which will end its chances for development. Now, if they do see that they need a hurricane hunter to go fly through and see exactly what's going on with the system, they will put one out later today around 11-ish. But so far, they really don't think that they need one, but just in case, they will use one. Now, National Hurricane Center has it in 72 hours. This tropical wave is going to be moving its way into the Caribbean. Don't worry, Jamaica, it's not going to be any kind of flooding for y'all. It's just going to pass through as a group of disorganized thunderstorms. But all the lift is for Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, and it is expected to form by the Western Caribbean. Now, right now, there's a high pressure, and it is showing this high pressure will retract back, and this will either curve around to the east, or as it gets into the Gulf, gets hit with this cold front, it will curve to the west. And this next tropical wave is showing sometime in the very beginning of September. It will make its way northern over Puerto Rico. Now let's go over what we have as far as our lift and sinking air, because what the euro is showing is just plumb crazy. Now, according to the GFS, we do have a lot of lift coming off the MDR all the way to the beginning of September. We have some sinking air. We do have some dust right now going on, but it shows it will stretch out into our region as we go from the early 20s all the way towards the late 20s, and that's right around when that wave is making its way to the Western Caribbean and possibly into our Gulf of Mexico. Then some more sinking air after that. Now, the euro is showing this as well. It's showing a lot of strong lift coming off the MDR, the main development region, but as it stretches into our region all the way to the end of August, we do have a couple potentials of some kind of formation. Now, the euro is showing that still somewhat a weak system. It's not going to be some strong, crazy hurricane like you see coming off the MDR, but it will be some kind of formation. And as warm as the Gulf of Mexico is, anything gets in there with rotation, we do have a problem. But after that, euro is still saying that we have sinking air all in our region, all the way to the end of September, possibly no more cyclones. And that's pretty crazy because we're already in the top 3 historic of what's going on for our hurricane season. We are literally 47 days now, no name storms in the Atlantic. And if this keeps up and if euro is correct, this will be a historic hurricane season of no name storms, longest stretch. So as we take a look with the lift in the sinking area that the euro does see, you can see going from all the way from August 18th to August 23rd, we have a lot of lift going towards the MDR. Then we get a neutral phase, but we have sinking air in the Western Caribbean. As you keep going from August 23rd all the way to August 28th, all this lift is going to be stretching all the way to the Eastern Caribbean, and this is when this wave is making the move. You have a neutral phase in the Western Caribbean where this system is forming through, but euro is showing that we have sinking air on the western side of the Gulf of Mexico, and that would either pull this system towards Florida or push it out to the Eastern Pacific and do pretty much nothing. Then as you go from August 28th all the way to September 2nd, The lift backs up from the MDR and a lot of sinking air moves into our region. You go all the way to September 7th. It stretches even further into our MDR. You go all the way to September 12th, still in our MDR. And you go all the way to September 17th, we still have sinking air in our MDR. But you will be in the neutral phase still for the Gulf of Mexico, Western Caribbean, if the Euro is correct. So something could still form close to home, especially with these cold fronts. We can get some front-induced lows. As you keep on going all the way to September 22nd, you can see it does have that sinking air. You go all the way to September 27th. You still have that sinking air. You go all the way to October 2nd. And it don't have a lot of lift. It has this in a neutral phase with some lift for the Gulf of Mexico by that time. But this is showing pretty pitiful if the Euro is correct. And the Euro is a pretty good model. Matter of fact, what is trending with the Euro is over a foot of rainfall coming down for Texas. It is still showing that. And National Weather Service is seeing a lot of rainfall as well. So that's pretty concerning, especially if Euro is correct about our hurricane season. Now, when you look at NASA's satellite, you can see there is a lot of dust in our MDR. Now, as you can see, we have more waves coming off the coast of Africa as well. And this wave is covered in a lot of sinking air that's coming after it. The trend has always been for this to weaken down, maybe strengthen up later. But the one that's coming off after that is bringing a lot more precipitation. You still have a lot more sinking air, a lot more dust over it. But it is starting to get stronger as we go towards the end of August. Now, according to the Euro tropical depression probabilities, it did go down. It did show 95% yesterday. It has gone down to maybe a 75, maybe 80% chance of a tropical depression as this goes west, northwest, weakens very quickly. Next wave is showing us going into the Western Caribbean, but according to the Euro, it could either go northern into the Gulf of Mexico or it could go western or the Eastern Pacific. There's still a lot of chances of where this wave can go. It's still unknown if this cold front is coming all the way down and steering this wave west or east, but it is showing a lot of lift all the way from the 27th and on for August for the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the Caribbeans going towards the Bahamas. So there is a chance for a lot of storms to form up. I do show that we are going into a lift phase for a while for the end of August, beginning of September, at least for the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. But that's pretty crazy how the Euro is showing that we're not going to have any storms coming all the way till October. Because as you look at your SpaghettiOs, possible cyclone locations, according to the Euro, you can see right around the 26th that we started getting a wave coming through the Western Caribbean, forms up late in the Gulf. And so far, it'll show it would be something weak, but there is something coming in our Gulf, according to all the models. As well as another wave that's coming right by the Caribbeans, and the rest of them are still going north off the MDR. So Euro is still showing whatever's coming off the MDR will go north into the Atlantic. It will be these waves that weaken down, go through our Caribbean, and maybe strengthen up later. The Euro is even showing that we have great potential for something to form up real strong into our Gulf of Mexico and either go towards Florida or go towards Louisiana as we go towards the end of August. So we really need to keep our eye on these next couple of waves that is coming off the MDR, because Euro is showing a lot of strengthening potential as it goes through the Western Caribbean and gets into our Gulf. And so there's GFS. I know that don't say much. Everybody knows GFS has been hit and miss a lot for this hurricane season, but it's agreeing with the Euro. By the time you get to the 25th, this wave is going to start strengthening up into our Western Caribbean, and it's still showing it's going into our Gulf of Mexico, maybe strengthen up to a major hurricane still, or go west and still become a hurricane, maybe a major hurricane for Mexico. So we still have two different paths we're going. The Canadian is showing that this wave will go towards Texas. And the waves coming off the MDR could either head north or they could still head west. So it's all dependent on what these cold fronts are going to do. It's still a little too far to be sure. I'll show you. And you can see this best on your precipitable water. This is the Euro. So as it keeps going to the west, it will get pulled north. We do have a trough over here over Mexico. It is a weak trough, but it's what's going to be pulling all this moisture up, get into the jet stream, and come down with this cold front, bringing a lot of rainfall, especially for northern Texas. And this is for days. Then that next wave that comes through the Western Caribbean, so far there is a cold front coming down, and Euro is showing a big mass of precipitation through. All of them is showing a big mass. But Euro is the only one that shows us going west, southwest, and not really going into our Gulf. These cold fronts is going to keep everything suppressed. These cold fronts so far is going all the way into our Gulf of Mexico. Now, the Canadian model also sees this wave going to the Western Caribbean by the 25th, but instead of it going northeast in the Gulf of Mexico or southwest into the Eastern Pacific, it shows it goes straight towards Texas. Strengthens up as it goes towards Texas. That would not be good. GFS sees this as well. They're all showing this tropical wave making it to the Western Caribbean by the 25th. GFS has it a little further to the north, and that's going to change the path on this immediately. Now, it does still try to form up right there by the 27th and 28th, still going to the northeast of the Gulf of Mexico. But then it gets elongated, it gets hit with all these multiple cold fronts, and it goes away. No formation. Now, this is literally at the end of the run. So like I said before, please take this with a grain of salt. All we can do is follow the trends, follow the updates, and see what the potential is. All models are showing this wave is coming to our Western Caribbean by the 25th or the 26th. And that is literally 6 or 7 days away. So our next area to watch is off the MDR, but I'm showing that our next area to watch for formation will be our Western Caribbean in about 5 to 6 days. And when you check to see what's going on with this Arctic oscillation with this cold air, you can see that GFS is seeing this cold front coming down at the end of August. It's not going to be an Arctic freeze. I know y'all was told yesterday by someone that there is an Arctic freeze coming in the middle to the end of September. We got cold air coming to the end of September, but it's not going to be as cold as what we're getting at the end of August. And it is doing a big dip according to the GFS. But if you look at the latest ensembles, it's going northern, it's going southern. It's not yet known if these cold fronts are coming down and suppressing this wave into a different direction. It's still a little too far to be sure, but that is a possibility. You can even see this with the Euro, that as we go towards the end of August, it starts going towards some cold air coming down from the Arctic oscillation, but the previous run says no. So it's still up in the air according to the Euro, according to the GFS. We're still not knowing if this cold front is coming down. Even when you look at the EPS, the extended for the Euro, you do see that we do have this cold front coming down, this Arctic oscillation, and maybe one around the very end of September. But as you can see, it's not as cold as what we're maybe going to get for the end of August. So I know somebody told you have a very cold Arctic freeze coming for the middle to the end of September, and that's just plumb crazy. The CFS, the Climate Forecast System, is a good system, but it changes daily. If you look at it today, it's not even showing that. Even the one right here for the end of August, beginning of September, still can and probably will change. So to believe something that far is just plumb crazy. Believing this far is crazy enough. Now, if this cold front does happen, it does bring some 40s and 50s to some people. It's not going all the way to the south, but once again, you got to look. We are literally 288 hours away if this one even happens. So don't believe an Arctic freeze that's coming a month after this one when there's no way that would be showing true. So if it came down, it'd bring 40s and 50s to everybody, even making it pretty far down by the 31st. And as you go towards the 1st of September, it could bring some colder temperatures for the upper Midwest, but everybody else will be feeling the 50s as this passes through. It ain't expected to last. It's not even trending yet. It's still too far to be sure. But if it does, it will bring 50s overnight temperatures all the way to the south, and it will carry towards the northeast as you go towards the beginning of September. And that's the only one we're seeing. I looked at the CFS, and what was shown to y'all yesterday is not trending today. It disappeared. Now let's get into how much rainfall is actually coming out of Invest 99L and this cold front as it all clashes over this stalled front for the next few days. National Weather Service has put heavy rainfall over the southwest. Y'all got so many floods there. We're getting floods in Florida. We're getting floods in Louisiana. We're getting floods in Texas. Everybody is flooding. I know y'all need precipitation, but too much at one time will be dangerous. Now for the next 72 hours, Euro is showing almost the same thing as National Weather Service is seeing. And as you keep going to see what could play out, Euro is still showing extreme flooding, catastrophic flooding coming from northern Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. Now, so far, it is bringing heavy amounts. So far, it's bringing over a foot for Dallas. Now, your city is full of cement. It don't have a lot of places for this water to sink into and soak into. So this would be catastrophic for your city. You have so much cement that this would just turn into flooding, instant flooding. Your ground's so hard, this would be instant flooding. I know y'all need rain bad. This would be really bad. But if you just go by the 90 hours and see what is trending. So this is the previous run. This is a 0Z according to the Euro. And as you look at the 6Z that came in this morning, you see it all moved a little bit further to the north. So please take that foot of rainfall with a grain of salt, but it is a possibility. National Weather Service is seeing a big flooding risk for y'all. And you can see the same shot here with National Weather Service in 72 hours, bringing all this heavy rainfall not only for the Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, but as you keep going to 5 days, then it's really building up. And all that orange right there is anywhere from 5 to 7 inches, and that just covers over Dallas. And if you go 7 days, you remember the 5 to 7 days always shifts. It's shifting over Texas. And that brown now is all 7 to 10 inches. So what Euro is seeing is the same thing National Weather Service is seeing. Very much heavy rainfall, anywhere from 7 to 10 inches plus going for Dallas. And if Euro is being that accurate and that good, what is that saying for our hurricane season? That we're not going to have no storms all the way until October? Now, this is going to be some extreme flooding coming for y'all. Not only you in a moderate risk for Arizona, New Mexico, y'all got more flooding coming y'all way. You're in a slight risk right here for Texas, also for the Carolinas. As you go through tomorrow, more moderate flooding for Arizona and New Mexico. This is going to be some very much dangerous flooding y'all going to be dealing with. Y'all already dealt with a lot of flooding. Y'all didn't see no flooding yet because this is going to be worse. Now you're in a moderate level. You're already soaked and you got a lot more rainfall coming. As it moves over northern Texas, as you go towards Sunday into Monday, now you got a big slight risk of flash flooding as you go from Monday into Tuesday. A big slight risk for flash flooding. Tuesday into Wednesday, another big slight risk for flash flooding. Texas, I know you need rainfall, and this is a great thing. Please be careful. This will be extreme flooding, and it could get catastrophic to all the areas that's been getting all this rainfall these last few days. Now, Euro is still showing it's a crazy amount. It is bringing over 15 inches for Dallas. It is bringing a lot of rainfall for everybody. Houston getting over 4 inches. Now, this is within a 10-day period. It's going from 5 days to 10 days. But just in the next 3 days, you have not much. 2 days later, maybe a foot of rain within 2 days for Dallas, Texas. That would be catastrophic, guys. Then the next 5 days, it just adds up. Goes over Louisiana, southern Arkansas, western Mississippi. Everybody's getting in on this very heavy rainfall. Now, GFS isn't seeing exactly like the Euro is seeing. GFS is always take this where it's sporadic. It's going all across the south, the southeast, and the mid-Atlantic. Euro has been the one that's saying this is going to be a bad flooding for Dallas. And y'all do have severe weather for today and tomorrow as this storm comes down into the Ohio Valley. No tornadoes expected. Now take this with a grain of salt because we already got a tornado warning for South Carolina. But they're not showing that there's going to be any tornadoes coming out of that. Also for tomorrow, you have a marginal for severe weather. But once again, there's no tornadoes expected. So if somebody makes a video telling you got a tornado outbreak happening, please don't believe them, guys. I'm not showing a tornado outbreak. I think there is a chance maybe for a tornado or two, a brief spin up, not much. But Invest 99L is at 22 miles per hour winds. It is moving 8 miles per hour to the northwest. And as you can see this morning, is really trying to strengthen up. And National Weather Service said today was going to be the day for Friday if it was to strengthen. God bless all of you this Friday. Hope you have a very blessed Friday today. Have a very safe weekend. Please take cautions over this flooding coming for you for Texas, especially for Dallas. That looks pretty dangerous, actually. I know you need rainfall. That much in that little bit of time would be dangerous. But thank you so much for visiting my channel. I hope you have a very blessed weekend this weekend. Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice. The earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. And if you've never been here before, Selah means think about what you just heard. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Amen. Now, if you've never been here before, I always upload all year, just not Friday to Saturday, sundown to sundown. That is Sabbath. But I will see you again on Sunday morning to see what the updates are. Have a very blessed weekend, everybody. And all power, all glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day, everybody.